I find it absolutely crazy how fast things are changing around crypto. The other day, we talked about this post from Eleanor Tourette, talking about the big three banking regulators, the OCC, the Fed, and even the FDIC, officially flipping on crypto and issuing a joint guidance on how banks should approach custodian crypto assets. This was basically a green light across the board for banks to tap into crypto in a huge way, even hold crypto as well, which also unlocks the door for these big banks to offer crypto services to all of their clients. Now you might be asking, Nick, why are we bringing this up? Well, it's because of what we're now witnessing from some of the largest financial institutional players in the world. Even the largest bank globally has now said, we are officially going in on crypto. Let's talk about this. But first, let's talk about Ripple, because again, I have been addressing Ripple along with, of course, XRP for quite some time. Okay, and the biggest thing that I've always said is how Ripple is catering to institutional clients. Now, you could say a few things about this. You could say, oh, this is not good because crypto's supposed to be decentralized and this, that, whatever. Listen. The people that think that crypto was created by some mysterious, radical individual that wanted to see, everyone escape the system and bank themselves through Bitcoin and this, that, it's just ridiculous. Crypto was created by the government because crypto, what it actually unlocks is the path to digital finance. It's the missing piece of the internet. It's the financial system for the internet. This was not just created by some random developer out there that wanted to escape the system. It was created by government players. I've talked about this. But when we think about Ripple and we think about how close they have been to institutional players for so long, and they have been even, building a path for those institutional players to XRP, we could suddenly see how bullish this actually is at this current point in time, where all of these institutional players are now warming up and jumping into crypto. Let's start off with a few things from Ripple. Number one, let's go back to June 13th. DZ Bank pioneers institutional digital asset custody offering with Ripple Custody. It has launched a digital custody service for crypto securities like tokenized bonds using blockchain to boost capital market efficiency. Using blockchain. What blockchain, you may ask? The XRP ledger. And also on top of this, we have over here, a bank becomes first bank globally to support Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin, offering custody and trading to institutional clients. Sorry for interrupting the video, but I have to let you guys know that I am now officially partnered up with ItrustCapital, the best platform out there for premium custody accounts and even crypto Roth IRAs. They offer 80 plus digital assets, including even physical gold and silver. They have partnerships with some of the biggest players out there, and they also have full-on institutional grade security tied into these accounts, which is extremely important at a time where we are starting to see more and more crypto exchanges being hacked. And also, the best part about ITrustCapital is that it's 100% US-based support. And also, you can get $100 right now as a funding bonus if you sign up utilizing my link. There's going to be a link down in the description below as well as in the comments below. If you go over here, you can just scroll down to the bottom and you could sign up utilizing my link, which allows you to get $100 in a funding bonus. And for a little bit more information here you have on their website, 0% no monthly annual fees, 1% cryptocurrency transaction fees, and then we also have the prices with gold and silver. So if you guys do want to go check this out, you guys are more than welcome to. I do think that this is the best platform to lock in on long-term crypto investments with, of course, the crypto IRA platform, which is tax advantaged. So with that being said, let's dive on in, back to the video. This was another bank added to the list. On top of that, Ripple announces Zanbank and Mamo as its first blockchain-powered payments clients in the UAE. Ripple has been making moves this entire year. I haven't even mentioned the 1,700 NDAs that could equal to, 1,700 big banks and, other companies, or the fact that Ripple has been long-term partnering with institutional players for years and years and years, leading to 500 plus announced partnerships that also include some of the biggest banks. People are not ready to witness the truth. Because for years and years, what we have been told by Bitcoin maxis and some of the most prominent influencers in this space is that XRP's a scam. Ripple insiders sell XRP for profit. They don't care about you getting rich. XRP will never be, valuable. Banks will never use XRP. Banks will never do this with Ripple. All of these things that we were told will never happen are all of a sudden happening. And it kind of reminds me back to the Bitcoin maxis laughing at XRP holders because of Ripple catering to institutional players and them saying that it was a terrible thing. But then all of a sudden, when BlackRock is filing for an ETF for Bitcoin, they're celebrating it. Just like today, they celebrate, BlackRock being one of the largest players around Bitcoin. In fact, they hold a ton of the supply for Bitcoin. Wall Street themselves holds significant percentages of Bitcoin. But we're supposed to forget that and think Ripple's bad and XRP's bad because they're catering to institutional clients. This is how big of a laughingstock crypto has become over the last couple years. But if you take a step back, you could see how bullish this is for both Ripple and even XRP. Then we think about the recent announcement. Another key milestone for RLUSD is in the books. Partnering with institutions like BNY to custody reserves ensures that RLUSD has the gold standard in regulatory compliance, further cementing our position as the go-to stablecoin for global enterprises. BNY is a massive player. We've talked about them already. They have more than $50 trillion in assets that they manage, move, and even keep safe. This is an absolute monster of an organization. Like I said, Ripple is here to make waves, not just ripples. Over here, we have Standard Chartered becomes the first global bank to offer institutional Bitcoin and Ethereum trading. Standard Chartered is also a partner of Ripple's. They invested in Ripple back in 2016. If we go back over here, this was just July 14th. July 14th is when we got the big news about the 3 big regulators around banks greenlighting crypto. Just one day later, this is just one day later that we get Standard Chartered, becoming the first global bank to offer institutional Bitcoin and Ethereum trading. Followed by Citibank, same day, by the way, is considering issuing its own stablecoin to facilitate digital payments, CEO Jane Fraser says. By the way, here we have, just in, $2 trillion Citibank says it's becoming an on-ramp to the Bitcoin and crypto economy. Clients want to be multi-border, multi-asset. It's happening. Check it out.
Back and you think about Citi and you think about our treasury and trade solutions business, we're in over 90 countries with clients. We have an expansive network that enables our clients to manage their liquidity, manage their payments, manage financings and vendors, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
What clients really want is the ability to be multi-border, multi-asset, and be able to do these things 24/7 all the time.
It sounds like a stablecoin.
And our
makes
token
sense
services business, our Citi token services business, enables our clients to do those things, and we're continuing to invest in that. Where stablecoin comes in is with this Genius Act. I think it creates an opportunity for us to be able to serve people who will be issuing stable coins and to have an option for those clients that we serve today.
Yeah,
whether it be reserving, whether it be on and off ramping, conversion from coin to cash, those are services we'll be able to provide. So we view that as an opportunity for us, but we feel very good about the competitive advantage we have with our network and with our Citi token services.
Absolutely.
Now, this is coming from one of the largest banks that almost everyone knows about, even around the traditional world. And they're diving into stablecoins and crypto in a big way. Yeah, it's no longer just oh yeah, I think this is going to happen, or oh yeah, I wonder if this is going to happen. No, it's already here. It's already happening. This is why I keep saying that 2025 is one of the largest years for crypto, because it's the year where everything is starting to shift on chain. We're now starting to see the big banks coming out and telling us what they're doing with crypto. This is something that we never saw before, and it shows us how the environment around crypto has completely changed. Now, on top of this, let's go over to this post from JP Morgan. On July 15th, we got Jamie Dimon says JP Morgan Chase will get involved in stablecoins as fintech threat looms. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says he doesn't get the appeal of stablecoins, but he also can't afford to stay on the sidelines. This is proof of the tsunami of banks flooding onto even the XRP ledger, into crypto, into stablecoins, you name it. Last month, JP Morgan announced it will launch a more limited version of a stablecoin that only works for JP Morgan clients. A true stablecoin would presumably be more universally accepted. We're going to be involved in both JP Morgan Deposit Coin and stablecoins to understand it, to be good at it. Citigroup and Bank of America executives have also said that they would get involved. These are some of the biggest banks everyone is aware of. The fact that JP Morgan says that he can't afford to stay on the sidelines should tell you everything about all of the big banks that are probably lining up right now thinking the same exact thing. Now, also, we have over here the move to JPMD. This happened on June 17th. Since June 17th, so many big moves happened around legislation, around price action, around big banks getting the green light. The entire market is becoming more and more institutionalized. This is very bullish for XRP. This is very bullish for Ripple because they were at the forefront of this before it was actually a bullish thing. Even over here, we have JP Morgan Chase files for blockchain-related trademark triggering speculation it has stablecoin plans. Here we actually have the trademark, and here we have for providing trading, exchange, transfer, and payment services for digital assets, namely virtual currency, digital tokens, payment tokens, decentralized application tokens, and blockchain-enabled currency, issuance of digital assets, namely virtual currency, digital payments, payment tokens, decentralized application tokens, and blockchain-enabled currency. They go on to mention so much in which they're going to be providing. We even have cross-border payments in here, the exchange of digital assets, the holding of digital assets. I mean, guys, JP Morgan is now officially a crypto bull. It's crazy to see how fast things can change. And by the way, when it comes to stablecoins, you might be thinking, Nick, why are stablecoins bullish for even XRP and the XRPL? Well, big shout out to digital asset investor for this. We have Ripple RLUSD rising. The one stablecoin that could kind of challenge these incumbents, it's RLUSD. I bet we hit $1 billion very soon. There's an opportunity with Ripple's resources to challenge these incumbents. And check this out.
And I think there's a lot of excitement also around RLUSD. A lot of the community members were talking about RLUSD. If we think about these stable coins that, you know, these large incumbents like USDT, USDC, you know, they obviously have strong network effects. And we know strong network effects are something that's pretty, you know, hard to beat, obviously. But if we think about like the one stable coin that could kind of challenge these incumbents, it's RLUSD. I mean, I think you know, we've seen the rapid growth, which is exciting, and I'm speaking about this in particular, obviously, because Jack leads that initiative over, you know, within the Ripple team. But obviously, we've seen pretty rapid growth already. You know, I bet we hit $1 billion in, well, you know, very soon. I won't put a time frame on it, but very soon, given the growth. And you know, I think that there's an opportunity with Ripple's resources to challenge these incumbents. I don't know many other stable coins that I could feel have that shot, but I do feel like RLUSD does, and that was some of the excitement I was hearing from folks on the ground. Obviously, you know, again, it's Jack and the focus is stable coins, so a lot of the community was focused there too. And I also think that was the day after we announced the EVM sidechain connection, and then that we're also connecting XRPL.
Now, when we think about this, right, if RLUSD is in that category of like one of the only stablecoins that can challenge what's happening here with the big banks, it's not just about the stablecoin. Obviously, the stablecoin is very bullish. It leads to more increased adoption of the actual underlying network, the XRP ledger here, which also impacts the gas token XRP. The main thing that I'm actually looking at here with stablecoins is that if all of these banks are going to launch their own stablecoin, just like JP Morgan is saying here, what does that tell you? Brad Garlinghouse said it himself. As more stablecoins go live, it puts more pressure on XRP's original use case as a bridge currency, because all of these stablecoins, like JP Morgan is not going to use Bank of America's stablecoin. Bank of America is not going to use JP Morgan's stablecoin. And any other bank, it's going to be the same thing. They are going to need a neutral bridge currency that can settle anything between these two things of value. XRP is a perfect example of this. So we're not trying to challenge anything, actually. What we are trying to do here is to make all of this extremely efficient, because stablecoins are only going to grow from this point on. All of the big banks are flipping now. They are going with stablecoins. They're going into crypto in a big way. They're tapping into the public networks, just like JP Morgan. They tapped into Base, a public blockchain network. This is only just beginning. It's only going to continue to accelerate from here, which makes XRP even more bullish. It makes these public networks extremely bullish. It also puts a lot of pressure on Ripple, because Ripple has been working with these institutional players for so long, and Ripple already has that gateway to the XRP ledger set up for any institutional player that wants to tap into the XRP ledger for stablecoin issuance, for DeFi use cases around institutional DeFi, you name it. This is all very bullish for these underlying utility-based projects and companies in this space that have been building, that have been working towards this goal for so long. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on, because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.